motivation and some strategy. So let's talk about the mindset. Number one on the list is to be unique. Okay? Anybody that's teaching you the same old thing, or if you market yourself the same old way, or if you make an offer that's the same thing as everybody else, you're going to get the same results. You're going to have maybe 50% hit rate or listing rate or working with a buyer rate. So it's about being completely unique. Every one of us is unique. There's something about us that we're really good at. There's something in our past or our experience that makes us great, and this is what you've got to portray to the public. Number two, I'm going to say, because this has really got to do with higher end sales or luxury home sales, never, ever, ever put anybody on a pedestal, another human being on a pedestal. I've worked with all sorts of clients, everything from a musician, a rapper musician, to a politician, a mayor in Canada, and a little bit of everything, a four-star general, so on and so forth, surgeons, and you can't put these people on a pedestal. Every single one of them puts their pants on or their dress on the exact same way we do, and 99% of them are nice, and I'll get into that in a minute. And then number three, I would say be authentic. Gosh, you can't. I would say trainers, coaches, everybody will teach you to be kind of robotic or whatever, and that's not what's going to make somebody work with you. It's who you are. It's your authenticity, and so don't worry about what you say, how you say it, so on and so forth. Be yourself. Now, am I saying get a bunch of knowledge, have a outline of a script, or that you're going to actually use, so on and so forth? Of course. But be yourself 100%. And last but not least, on the mindset, I'm going to say most people are nice. Again, will repeat to you that I've worked with all sorts of people on every phase of life with all sorts of high net worth. And you know what? They were really nice. So don't think they're going to be anybody's going to be intimidating, or any buyer, a buyer or seller you should look up to, let's say, again, putting them on a pedestal, or somehow thinking that there's going to be some judgment involved or whatever. Again, just be yourself. 90% of the people I've worked with in the high-end luxury market were nice. The 10% that aren't nice, don't work with them. Just going to say that really quickly. So number two, let's get into the second thing I'd like to get into is motivation. You will not, the first thing I want to talk about here is that you will not wake up in the morning and do stuff you don't like. So I'm going to tell you to go ahead and do things that you like. Again, coaches and trainers will sit there and tell you to stand up all morning for 3 hours and call expireds. Okay, that doesn't make any sense to me. I've done it. I've been good at it. I hated it. So I didn't wake up in the morning and do it. I didn't want all that rejection. I just didn't enjoy it, so I didn't do it. And so my career would suffer because of that, and so will yours. So I would do things that are less rejectionable, and I've got probably 10 of those strategies I can share with you. But for instance, LinkedIn. You can connect with people on LinkedIn. You can meet them for coffee or at their office. You can get into a referral relationship with them, so on and so forth. There's absolutely no rejection there. You're sending a message to somebody or sending a letter to somebody, let's even say on older expireds, et cetera, that has no rejection. These are things you would wake up in the morning and probably do because you're not going to, it takes a certain personality to wake up every morning and be rejected all morning. There's a very small amount of realtors that can handle that or like that. Number two, I'm going to say work with people you like. Again, like I mentioned before, just run away from people that you don't like or that are not nice to you. And I'll give you a quick example. I did work with, like I said, all sorts of high net worth clients. All of them were nice. One criminal defense attorney, who happened to be my friend, was not nice. He was always trying to beat people up on their price and so on and so forth. He never bought a house. And I didn't enjoy it. I didn't look forward to it. So I would say absolutely 100% again, to be motivated, you got to work with people you like. Number three, I would say challenge yourself. And what I mean by that is, and I can use myself as an example, if you continue for the rest of your career doing the exact same thing, so whether that's lower price, medium price homes, a certain neighborhood that's, lower price or whatever, you'll probably never be challenged. Your business will stay stagnant, your income will stay stagnant, and you'll be bored. And so I personally was bored with that. And so I jumped into the luxury home market with no experience at all, ended up doing very, very well. But really, I needed to challenge myself. So I'm saying to you, challenge yourself. Whether that, if I was to suggest something, I would say higher end sales or higher end neighborhoods, things like that. Start going after some of that. Keep your existing business, but go after some of that. And number four, I want to say on the motivation is, excuse me, that big sales or high end sales will change your life. It will change your life in every phase. One, the income is pretty darn good. Number two, the confidence level you'll have will change. Everything about you'll just be on a different plane when you start closing some of these high-end sales. Again, it probably comes from confidence, but it will just change your attitude, everything else. So I highly suggest adding a few high-end sales to your business every year. And so now let me get into, if you're going to try to do that, let me talk about strategy and how you go after either higher-end sales or how you don't get into competition with other agents, how you don't spend your money on Zillow and everything else that is just robbing you blind for leads. So here, let me talk about no money. There's, again, 10 strategies that I can share with you that literally take a stamp, take a letter, take some research on your part in the MLS to find certain sellers or whatever. Let me give you a very quick example, Homes with Equity strategy that I literally created myself with another broker. And we go back to 2008 and 2009, 10, 11, and 12. Those are where the short sales and all the foreclosures were. And we look for everybody that bought a house then and that is still in that house. So they are sitting on all sorts of equity. In some cases, especially in the high-end market, it could be $1 million, it could be $500,000. They're sitting on tremendous equity, or even in the regular market, they're sitting on equity. And so the way, so we reach out to them with a letter. Now, think about that for a second. Nobody else. That doesn't cost any money but a stamp. And let's talk about competition. There's nobody else doing that. So there's no competition. We kind of created that ourselves. LinkedIn is a place where nobody is lead generating and trying to meet people for referral relationships. And I can go on and on. But let me now get into what I would consider out of the box. So you need to be out of the box when it comes to strategy. And let me give you another very quick example of that, what I mean by that, and I really need you to hear this. So when we sat luxury open houses, or I teach somebody to do that, we do it. We co-market with a luxury car dealer. So we put $200,000 Tesla cars in the driveway that people can test drive. We go ahead and blanket the neighborhood of luxury home sellers that we are doing this. It brings probably 10 times the amount of people to the open house because Tesla or anybody else will really co-market it with you. And so we would get 25, 30 people to an open house instead of 2, and we also impress the neighbors like no other realtor has in hopes of their luxury home listing. And this may be the most important, last but not least, or let's talk about closing. That is so important. I don't think you should hold back for 1 second on closing anybody on the spot. Or if you're going to have somebody setting appointments for you, have a closer or somebody that can make appointments, somebody that can change. That can turn a phone call into a buyer or seller, or so on and so forth. So I'm just going to say that, and that's so incredibly important because every time that I've given anybody any sort of space, and then you follow up, it gives them such an easy chance to go find another website, find another realtor, talk to another agent about their listing, so on and so forth. So I would close hard, to be honest with you, or have a closer. And let me give you the biggest tip probably I can when it comes to closing, and that is asking people why. So if somebody says, for instance, oh, I need to talk to another agent. You're in a listing appointment. I need to talk to this other agent. The question would be why? Why? Did I miss something? Is there something I left out? Am I missing? Did you hear something you didn't like? Et cetera, et cetera. I mean, don't sit on letting them object or whatever. But and so continue to close and close with a why kind of attitude. And they could even say, oh, I've got to talk to my wife or husband. The question would be why? What do you think your wife or husband will say? What do you think they'll think about what I just presented? And go deeper and then close again. I highly believe in this, in closing and asking people why. And so let me just finish this video by just asking you what's holding you back. You know, think about it for a second. What is holding you back? Is it any of these things? Is it your mindset, your motivation? Is it not having good strategies on lead generation, so on and so forth? So I'm going to say you're absolutely 100% welcome to reach out to me. I'll help you get over any of these things we just talked about, or I just talked about, and succeed at any or all of them. And so there should be stuff to reach out to me directly above and below this video, and I will either talk to you soon or I'll see you in another video.